Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Hey Biz Buds, a podcast
Yay!
where six, although you're only four today,
Yes.
solo entrepreneur friends, we work together. We work separately on our individual businesses, but we get together to help each other stay sane and stay successful. In our previous episodes, we've spoken about topics like confidence building, me time, and even dealing with big life changes while still being an entrepreneur. In this episode, we have Rini,
Hello.
Liana, we have
Yes.
Eleanor,
Hey.
and myself, your host, Manisha. This time, I like to focus on a topic that I absolutely love, which is setting goals.
Already.
So excited.
Alert.
Backstory, a little bit backstory. In early 2023, we all were chatting on our WhatsApp group as usual, very chaotic WhatsApp group we have, where I remember, I think it was Liana who shared this beautiful planner that you came across. And then out of nowhere, being us, we decided like, hey, okay, why don't we get together and set goals sort of for each other for 2023. Which brings me to ask Liana, was that a good idea? Was that a good idea for us to do? And how did that help you get by with 2023?
Oh, me. Oh.
Because you started it, you gave us the planner, and we did that. We actually got together and we set goals for quarterly basis and stuff like that. We did a review. It was really nice to do, but do you think that was a good idea to do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely it was a good idea. It really helps us to like stay accountable. I think yeah, it's good. Like, at the start of every quarter, we'll be like, hey, it's a new quarter. And then I'll remember like, hey, remember we actually set goals for this quarter, and that will take a screenshot. I'll just send the screenshot and it's quite fun to like see like how whether we've actually done the goals that we've set ourselves for ourselves or not. But that was good lah. So I think it's a good idea. It's a good
Did
idea.
you set out to do the goals that you set out to do?
So that's a very interesting question. I actually surprisingly I actually did. I mean, it's not okay. I realized that when I set these goals, right, it's not like it won't turn out the same way as I expected it to be, but somehow it'll be a different form.
Yep.
Yeah, like maybe like for me, like for example, I actually wanted to do like a train the trainer program, right? So when I did it myself, it didn't really go far. But then somehow I'm actually gonna be conducting like a train the trainer session this Friday, and it's for a completely totally different thing altogether. So like, hey, okay, I kind of so it's quite cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So having the goals setting thing works. It helps. Yes.
Okay, so you spoke about accountability, but if I remember correctly, Eleanor was not part of that discussion in the beginning of this year. So our newest member of our I don't know informal what group this is, but yeah, basically just a group of chaotic business people. What's
I
your
totally
take? Yes, thank you. What's
on
your
what again?
take on setting goals for business and personal life?
I think for me, setting goals from the start of 2023 wasn't concrete. Like it's not fixed, but I know where I'm going to go this year. Like this year I started partnership with Weka, and that's all together. I didn't want to be rigid in my goals, so I needed to just say, okay, let's stabilize and see where this goes from here. But upon learning that you guys have set goals with this sheet that you guys are sharing, I think it was somewhere on the third quarter. And then I started to realize like, hey, I need this to kind of pull me back, because I felt lost somewhere in between. To just kind of reset myself, and then okay, I think I need the quarter to kind of figure out myself, who I am. That time I had like some identity crisis, quarter life crisis going on. So I had to like kind of shift the goals a little bit. So I think for me it's all about being adaptable and flexible in the goals as well. Yeah.
Okay. Just to give
Mm.
our listeners kind of a review of what we did. So the planner that Liana shared had like a few different sheets. I think it was reviewing what we did, what was a success the year before, what was not so great the year before, and what were things that we wanted to and didn't want to do. So like a lot of us even said like we want to make sure this year we keep imposter syndrome at bay. You know, a few of us spoke about that, and then we had a little like a 4 grade thing for each quarter, where each quarter we individually set our own goals. Like for example, for me, I think in the second quarter was figuring out more passive income because I was getting married. I think AJ was the same as well. And then we also had collective goals, like, okay, this year, if this particular thing, oh, I'm actually okay with it. Someone else wants to grow with it. Someone else is like, okay, I'm not going to touch on this year, maybe another time. So I think when Eleanor stepped in and we shared that with her, probably it's not so much we are telling each other what to do, but it's more like Liana said, keeping each other accountable and checking in with each other. Like, okay, is that something that's still relevant, or is that something that you don't want to do anymore? So, change it yourselves. We don't want to change the sheet. It's there for a reason. It's done. Move on, right? Kind of good because it's not as stressful. I think sometimes when we are alone and we are looking at our goals, we're like, oh my God, what do we do? Like, really, I know you are like a serial to-do lister. Every day got goals,
I'm a
one.
planner.
Yeah, every day got
goals.
goals.
Every day got goals, yes.
Day. People every day I'm hustling, shit, every day I'm goaling. Okay, I want to become
Wow.
Wow,
I don't
goaling.
know. Sorry, aku lame. But yeah, how do you, Rini, then separate your everyday goals versus your big goals? Like, how do you work on them differently?
Good
For me is I've started having goals ever since I started my business, but not like really into it. At first, I did like a really big goal, like 1 year ahead or 2 years ahead. And then I feel that I felt so overwhelmed because of the huge gap that I need to go forward. And then I feel like, okay, and then after like 1 year, I feel like I didn't achieve it. And then I feel so bad. I feel so bad for myself. Like I will beat myself up like always, right? But and then and then I bring it down. I bring it down to 6 months. Even 6 months also feel huge for me because it's a long gap as well. And then I think in my 5th year or 6th year, I started doing the 3 months quarter kind of goals. And when it comes to daily goals, right? Daily goals usually is what my priority work is, like my editing, my filming, my big tasks, my medium tasks, and my small tasks. It's all in between daily stuff, daily goals or daily to-do list. But if it's like quarter, it's really more of like, what do I want to achieve for that quarter by the end of that quarter? So I remember, I think the last quarter, I wanted to focus on passive income. So I did Medium, I did the TikTok videos. So that TikTok videos actually was not part of my plan to earn passive income through products. So I was like, hey, this could be manifestation again, right? So I was like thinking to myself, hey, this could be a potential passive income where I can go into. And that's how I rebranded my TikTok to be a reviewer in that sense for the products that I use for small business owners to also use. So that's how I somehow like differentiate. Like if it's a 3-month goal, it's how I want to really achieve slowly within the monthly basis or for the next 3 months. But if it's daily, it's really more of like my big tasks, small tasks, medium tasks. Yep.
So manifestation is clearly a big part
It
of
is.
achieving goals.
I love manifestation.
Hard work is another whole set of
Yes,
but
definitely.
sometimes I just feel manifestation is also your subconscious. Because you somehow have that at the back of your mind, but you keep thinking about it, but you just didn't realize it. I think that's also why I love to have word of the year every start of the year.
I love those.
So that one I think is my biggest. I think I implemented it since 2017 or something like that. That's I really love the word of the year. So that's how it can go back into my subconscious.
I forgot my word of the year.
Sis, dah nak habis year already.
What's yours, Renee? What's
Mine
yours, Renee?
is intentional. So everything that I do, it has to have, it must have
Intention.
intentional. Yeah, intention. Like, for example, if I create content, it has to come with intention. I don't want to just create content just for the sake of creating content anymore.
That's important. Instead of just setting goals, we should set sort of a theme or a word for the year, so that we make sure that even though the smaller goals are not like, when Liana and Rini said, it's not necessarily what they set out to do. Like the word is there that I want to do, train the trainers, but you don't break it down to how you're training or who you're training.
Yes, correct.
Rini, it was, I wanted to say Fitri. I'm missing Fitri today.
Yeah, I know, right?
It was, the passive income. TikTok was on her mind because it's always on her mind.
Yes,
But,
it is.
she didn't know it was product reviews. And who would have thought our Rini would be famous from product reviews, right?
I think it's ingrained in us anyway, because like talk about being flexible, and then being an entrepreneur, you always have to be resilient. Like, okay, this plan don't work out, but what is the next step that can achieve that goal? So I think being observant with your surroundings and trying out what works and not, and then suddenly you realize, hey, this is actually the goal that I'm after,
True. Very true. It's about being aware lah. But I think having you guys around, as someone who works completely alone all the time, I think having you guys like reminding, there's always that check-in, like, hey, what happened now? What was the quarter goal again? Like, I forgot, and then someone will have to go and check it and then screenshot it and send back. And then you're like, oh, right. Oh my God, I completely forgot about
have
this.
a group.
Yeah, it is actually, it's like taking care of each other, in the most, it's the smallest way possible. I remember because somebody mentioned the quarter 4 goal, they actually wrote it down in my calendar, like, I have to get this done. Like, okay, this is something I need to do amongst the 1,000 other things that I have to do. So I'm so glad that I have you guys to help me.
Okay, but I want to say something, right? I mean, I read, I came across this really pretty interesting thing in this book I was reading. And they're saying about how some people, they don't really work with the term goals. So like, so instead of putting goals, like let's say for example, okay, this writer, he was asking this person like, oh, his daughter, what's your goals for the end of the year? And then this daughter is like, I don't know. But then the moment he asked her, okay, what projects do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do, like, by the end of the year? And then she could list down all the things that she wants. So it's the same thing so I told Hanafi this, like, I think for me, like, when you ask me like what's my goals for the end of the year, I don't know. But then if you ask me, okay, what's the list of things that I wanna do, I can give you like a whole long list that I want to do and by the end of the year.
Puzzle.
This one goes back to our that 40 on 40 list.
Oh my gosh,
So it's
for
like,
context again, Rini was talking about how she has this bucket list. So it's a whole different podcast episode. Never mind.
But so I think sometimes the word goals might seem a bit too big, or it's too intimidating for some people. Maybe they're not used to it. But then if you ask them like, okay, what kind of projects do you want to do by the end of the year? Then it just comes out naturally. So that works for me actually.
But for Liana, right, when you say like what projects you want to achieve, then you can list it down. But do you get overwhelmed? Plus, do you beat yourself up if you don't achieve that project?
That's just you, Rini.
Monisha.
Projects. Okay. I think we did mention something about me pre-Hanafi go Haji and post-Hanafi go Haji.
For context, Hanafi is a husband.
Yes. And for context, like I always mention that when Hanafi went for Hajj for 30 days, I did a lot of transformation over that month. I felt
1 month.
Go exercise, she go networking, she go event.
1 month. So I guess that was like kind of my goal. I mean, I set myself, like I was telling myself, okay, by the end of when he comes back, right, I should be able to like, I didn't say like I want to have a goal, but I just know like, okay, I want to make sure like every single day is like well spent. So yeah, that helps. But yeah, that helps in the whole overwhelming thing. But now that you're asking me this question, if I don't manage
Like
to
tick
do
your
it,
box or something.
yeah, I don't think I will get so overwhelmed at this point, because I'm also like learning, right? Like, okay, I have to be kind to myself lah. Like, okay, why is it that I cannot tick the boxes? Is it
Yep.
because of circumstances or however or whatever that things that happen? Then yeah, then I'll be a bit kinder lah. But of course, I can. It means that I cannot like take the easy way out lah. I cannot
Yeah,
be,
cannot just
I'm like, oh, never mind, it's okay. Last time I used to be like that. Like, okay, oh, I wanted to do this. Then like, never mind lah, don't need.
Okay.
Yeah, but then now I'm like, okay, no, I have to like just
try
push.
and
I
do
just
it.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah, just try. Yeah, so
Because
that
when you never try, you never know, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think something that we also somehow wanted to leave in 2023 was to be so hard on ourselves. And be kinder. We want all of us to be kinder with ourselves. I think I remember 2022 we were so full on pack. Like every time also got project, every time also need to like hustle. I think 2023 we will kind of like tell ourselves, okay, self-care. I think the word self-care was
Self-care.
really on our list.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, I'm glad you remember, really.
I
Yeah,
entered in the
because
era where
it's
everything's
a
fine.
huge thing for me, you know. I have to do self-care.
I know. It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. But scheduling self-care is I think is one of the huge change I had in my whole 2023. Now that 2023 is going to end soon, we are in the final lap already. I think from the January that we set our goals and we wanted to make sure that we all have self-care. I think this is something that we somehow every other month remind each other, okay, it's okay to rest, you know, all these things. Okay, AJ is here. I'm going to add
Actually, I was just going to say that actually we learned from AJ how, she was saying in
self-care,
last
yeah.
to schedule. She schedules me time first before she schedules
Yes.
everything else. So
Yeah,
that is,
yeah.
that is so important. It's something that I learned from her to do that.
Yeah,
although
yeah.
I'm still not very good at doing that, but that's another topic altogether. Yeah, so actually I was gonna wrap it up, but if
Yeah,
AJ
sure.
is here,
I think it's okay.
it's okay. Fine, never mind, AJ. We'll listen to you another podcast. Thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts on this, my favorite topic.
Awesome.
I hope it has benefited everyone who's tuning in, because like we said, working alone can be difficult, even if you're an entrepreneur with a team. It can be a struggle to set goals as a team, keep everyone in track, keep everyone accountable, keep everyone motivated to do their projects. That's always that thing that we need to keep ourselves in check. But yeah, so I hope you guys had fun listening to this. Till the next episode, subscribe, follow, share. Peace out.
Yay.
All right, bye.
Hey, bye.